Well, I was born in Tanzania, in Dar es Salaam, but we lived in a town 300 miles away called Iringa, in the mountains. It was called Southern Highlands. So I never cooked except at school. We learned mostly European food, shepherd's pie and how to cook fish in an English way and how to make biscuits and cakes, but not Indian food. When I came to England, I came to study. So I went to university, did my degree in sociology. When I finished, I went back home. And at home, I tried to find a job, and I was working in a bank for a while. And then we all moved to Zambia because politically things were getting difficult in Tanzania. And Firoz, my brothers were in Zambia. So we just packed up and moved to Zambia. And that's where I didn't learn to cook, but helped my mother cook, because she was obviously missing her kitchen from Tanzania, from home, and she was cooking for her 2 sons and daughter-in-laws and grandchildren. So there were lots of nice things to make for them, and I just would help her in the kitchen. Favorite food, my mother used to always cook good food. Just loved everything that she made. But now that you ask me, maybe she used to make fantastic masala fish and masala potatoes and then chapatis with them. That was good. But she would make biryanis, and there was halim, which is made from 7 kinds of dals and all that. And there was butiyas, samosas. Yes, everything was good. She always made good food, though she was also busy helping my father in the business, but she always made good food. I think soon after we got married that I felt I needed to learn to do cooking, and all my experience from my mother, all the ideas that my mother had came back. So that's where I then started cooking for my husband and then family, because I was inviting Firoz and Nasim and Nizar and Nell for lunch and dinner at my house. Yes, biryani was a special thing. Either Sunday, if she had time, biryani was always for big days, not so ordinary days. Like Christmas. Well, it just is one of the well-known Mughlai dish. It was created in Mughal times. And so it just, and there are different versions of that. So, and it's rich dish. And it needs a lot of meat and spices and much more than sort of other ordinary curries. So, and it was, in a way it was a one-pot dish, but very elegant. So the way I make it is, you have oil in the pan, and then you have a mixture of spices, whole spices, which are cinnamon and cardamom and nutmeg powder and cloves and pepper. Put them in the oil, and as soon as the oil sizzles, I'd put the tomatoes and the tomato puree. You'd put the overnightly marinated meat, marinated in yogurt and garlic and ginger. So it would be smelling of those beautiful things, and then you'd put a whole lot of that meat into that oil, and it would be cooked very gently, stirred and cooked and left to just mix in all those lovely spices, and the aroma in the house would be beautiful. But when the meat is cooked, that's when you have loads of fried, you have to have onions fried deep brown, deep fried, about a quarter of a kilo of this, 3-4 big onions. You need them to deep fry, and then you add them to the curry mixture. You have deep fried potatoes. You'd add them to the curry mixture, and it's all mixed up, and that's the main base already made. So it would take an hour plus, depending on the quality of the meat. You would have to have a basmati rice. That's the only rice you can bake this good biryani with. So you would have soaked the rice for about an hour plus. So once the sauce is made, the meat sauce, on a separate saucepan, I would put the water to boil, put some salt in it, and then put this rice into the water. Bring it back to boil and just parboil. You'd have to check the rice. You see, just half cooked. Then drain it on top of the sauce and then add some saffron to it to give it that orangey color. Then you have to have a burning coal, charcoal. Now in those days, in my mother's days, they cooked on charcoal. There were no ovens or electric or gas ovens. They came later, but early on they were not that. They're not even in Pakistan. They cook on wood fire or charcoal fire. So there's always a charcoal burning in the house. So you have one piece of charcoal, put the charcoal there, and then you'd have, in a little saucepan, you'd have a oil heated and add some of the whole spices, cinnamon, cardamom, cloves in it. And once it comes to sizzling, so it becomes like a smoked biryani. And then I put it in the oven, but my mother used to have coal fire underneath and coal at the top. So it's cooking from two sides for an hour, 1.5 hours, 2 hours, and it stays warm because it's on low heat and it's being cooked. And then we would open, the whole house would smell. Then you have accompaniments with that. You would make a dish called kachumbar. It's a salad, Indian salad made from onions, tomatoes, carrots. If you had a cucumber, coriander leaves and lemon juice. A bit of green chilies if people like that. And another accompaniment is raita, which is yogurt with again cucumber or just plain yogurt with salted yogurt, and that goes with these two things. And some people also make carrot salad, which is again made with oil or vinegar and mustard seeds, crushed mustard seeds, and then more lemon as well. So there are different kinds of those side dishes that go with biryani.